Well, from outside Wickham Mansion, Day 4 of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival is coming to a close. This well-known building behind me was the home of 3 governors, and it was the site of an extremely important event today on the busy festival schedule. Luckily, the rain this morning didn't stop any of us, with Spalding Hall lawn being filled with the aromas of southern food, the sounds of laughter and music, and the sight of bourbon lovers revelling in the many activities on offer. We raced back to Louisville to be treated to an impressive selection of whiskies and mouth-watering meals at the Bourbon Bistro. All this while our crews wandered around Bardstown meeting locals and visitors alike. This afternoon we covered the event that combined previous legends of the bourbon industry with 7 new members of the elite honoured Hall of Fame Club. A man whose name is on everyone's lips, Tom Bullitt, was one of the new inductees welcomed in with the recognition he deserves. Some recognition should also be shown to everyone who attended the Boots and Bourbon night. They donned their finest, tackled the bull, and joined in some fine Bardstown boot scooting. Well, the music started, the marquees filled up, and I haven't been arrested yet, but maybe towards the end of the night. Are these going out boots? Do you have special going out boots?
Absolutely, these are going out boots.
These are
going out to Boots and Bourbon.
What have you got there? Bit of wild turkey?
A little Russell's Reserve on the rocks.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Hold on tight!
I did that in honor of our master distiller, Jimmy Russell.
Just for Jimmy?
Yeah, well, we're raising money for the Shriners Hospitals, helping children.
We've already been out on the dance floor, didn't it?
You have?
Yes, my girlfriend's riding the bull right now.
Oh, she's
This
doing
is
pretty
my other
well.
girlfriend.
His other girlfriend. When she's not around, I take her place.
And now you've got another one.
I do
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you gotta have a bourbon festival pin.
Oh, I've got to
You
have
don't
one.
have one? Oh, you have to have one of these. You have to have one of these. Here, I'll give you mine.
No, that's all right.
Oh, you have to have one, really. There you go. Angel Share. We do a new pin every year.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now, Eric, it's fantastic to see this many people at the Boots and Bourbon.
Absolutely. You know, the Bourbon Festival is drawing. I just met people from Idaho, Sweden, Tennessee. People from all over the world are coming here tonight to celebrate Kentucky Bourbon. We couldn't be happier.
Again, they're going to be there for the whole festival too.
Absolutely. They're going to be here for the festival. They're going to go out on the Bourbon Trail. They told me they're going to get their passport stamped, and they plan on making it back, they said, for the next 20 years.
Well, we'll be visiting the last stop on the Urban Bourbon Trail tomorrow.
Fantastic.
And then coming back for the festival. So we look forward to seeing you.
Now is when everything gears up. We've had great events the past couple of nights, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this is when it hits the big time.
We're looking forward to it.
Great.
Are you going to have a dance tonight?
Maybe, there's a possibility, yeah. After a few of these, yeah.
Well, you're lining up at the bar there. What are you after?
101 with ginger.
Very nice. That's not a southern accent.
Absolutely not. Australian.
Where are you from in Australia?
Sydney, Bondi Beach.
Manly.
Way it should be.
So what are you doing all the way over here?
I came here last year on a road trip, came back again this year.
You just couldn't stay away.
Absolutely. It's good fun.
I was formerly from southwestern Pennsylvania, and that's almost like Kentucky. Back there we made our own booze,
You did?
but we don't do it anymore. So you gotta come to Kentucky for good bourbon.
It has to be bourbon. I drove all the way from Little Rock, Arkansas to come up here to do this.
Did you?
I did.
So you're here for the whole festival?
Come for the whole festival.
And
All the way.
you're drinking a lot of bourbon?
Yes, ma'am. Been doing it since Wednesday. I've been doing a lot of practice.
Yeah! 2 minutes, 5 seconds. What a cowboy. Now you're controlling the bull here. I've got a funny feeling that when a cute girl gets on there, you jiggle it a little harder.
Maybe.
It's harder than you think. Marshall's the best place to be this week.
So Stacey, when was the Urban Bourbon Trail started?
Well, we started it just last year, May, after about 18 months of defining what the Urban Bourbon Trail would actually be. And it was born of an idea to complement the legendary Kentucky Bourbon Trail. That's all the 8 distilleries that are out in the state, making all that good brown water, right?
Very good brown water.
Basically, we wanted to help tell the story of Kentucky bourbon, not how it's made, but how it's enjoyed and what the total experience of that is in our state, which it's much more than a drink here. I mean, it's a lifestyle. It's part of the cultural heritage and all the traditions, cooking with it and food. A lot of us start, as 2-year-olds having it in a hot toddy, as we've talked about, when we're sick, and just as something
medicinal purpose.
Absolutely. Well, during Prohibition, that was the only way you could get it. What was for medicinal purposes, and we heard that a lot of people were sick during that period, right?
I think so.
So the Urban Bourbon Trail is just a fun way to experience what Kentucky bourbon is, whether you like to drink it or not. There's a lot to do apart from that, the food experience. And we came up with a couple good bars and restaurants that were already doing wonderful things with bourbon very organically. And this is one of the stops, Jockey Silk, so it was one of those named by Whiskey Magazine as one of the top whiskey bars in the entire world, not just the country, which I think is amazing. We had another one in town that was that, and that was Bourbon's Bistro. We had a couple other bars, like where F. Scott Fitzgerald used to drink at the Sealback when he was writing The Great Gatsby. So we had a story to tell already, and then we just sort of came up with some other requirements. We wanted some authenticity to it, so we would talk to some of the master distillers that you've probably talked to, and some of the industry experts, and just got some ideas put together. And the minimum requirement, the very minimum, is that you must have 50 bourbons to be on the bar. We thought that was just a good, respectable list to have. If you were at any other place in the country, having 20 would make you almost essentially a bourbon bar. But so 50 is pretty aggressive, and then you're at a place like Jockey Silks and you've got 160, right? Which I think is probably the most in the world. A lot of those are expressions that are antique now. So that was the first requirement, and then some others are just helping tell the bourbon story, whether you have bourbon tastings or a special bourbon cocktail on the menu, kind of like the Jockey's Dream that you tried, or you can make a mean mint julep, and that you do some things that help folks appreciate the bourbon heritage. So we didn't want just any old pizza bar to be a part of this, and I think we've got a wonderful collection. We have 9 total on the trail right now, and we're looking for more. So anybody.
So it is going to grow?
We hope so, yeah. We have had over 5,000 people pick up passports at this point.
Which is this one here?
That's right. We're about to run out, so we've got another print run going. We've had 400 people actually complete all the stops, which it's not all about that. It's just about getting it and getting the information out there and experience it. But we hope people that complete them. So we've given away a lot of T-shirts. They've come from over 40 states and 5 foreign countries. Well, we can add you to the list soon, hopefully, right? And we'll have 6. But it's been a fun program. The bars and restaurants have been amazing in their participation level and their interest, and just hoping to educate folks about what bourbon is and the history behind it. Over 200 years in our state, and America's only native spirit.
So you were saying at each stop you get a stamp for the passport?
That's right, and you don't have to have a bourbon, although of course we kind of hope that's the point of the program, but you can have a coffee or a soft drink or a dinner and just ask the bartender to give you a stamp.
Well, I had a beautiful bourbon here, so I need my stamp.
Yes, you do, and I just happened to have a stamp with me, and
perfect.
I've never gotten to do this before, so it'd be my honor.
Number 4.
All right. Your stamp for Jockey Silks. There you go.
Very nice.
Almost complete, right?
Almost.
Okay.
Beautiful. Last night, bourbon lovers got a special opportunity to combine the celebrated spirit with a delicious meal. The bourbon-style cooking school sold out weeks before the festival, and the Great Hall at my old Kentucky home state park was packed for the event. Guests watched bourbon-inspired cooking demonstrations, courtesy of famed Lexington eatery Deshars. They sampled each dish at their table, with many a satisfied guest at the end of the night. The flavour of the evening to complement the fantastic dishes was the many offerings of bean. All in all, a night of mouth-watering delicacies paired with the spirit of Kentucky.
It started off, the festival started in 1992, 18 years ago, and it was really a distillery party. We had 250 people. There's a few guests, I suppose. We had two small tents, one with a tasting, and you'll see Saturday evening the elaborate tasting booths that the distilleries have now. We started off with a pop-up table. I think it might have been an 8-foot table. I don't think we put a tablecloth on it the first year, with tastings in small plastic cups and some food, and you know, it progressed slowly. Last year, for example, the 17th year, we had people from 44 states and 14 foreign countries. We had over 55,000 people. So in 18 years, we've grown a lot. And if you look back just to 7 or 8 years ago, we were still at 18 to 20,000, which had grown a lot. But in these last 7 or 8 years, it's more than doubled again. And we're beginning to wonder, you know, where are we going to be in 10 years from now? But it is so exciting. And 7 years as chairman, every year I say, this has got to be it. I'm getting older, and all the long hours and the work, and I don't believe in being a chairman and just, you know, say, you've got to do this, you've got to do this and this. I'm working right along with the volunteers, and the whole festival, we have a board of directors, and we do this primarily with volunteers. It's a way to give back to the industry. You know, you hear in Kentucky, like the University of Kentucky and University of Louisville football game, you hear people, University of Kentucky fans, they bleed blue. Roses are red, so I bleed red for the roses. But this is an opportunity to work for the entire industry. The distillers, we're all good friends. We get together. I mean, the camaraderie between the people in our industry is just unbelievable. You would never see Anheuser-Busch and Miller and Coors getting together to do something like we do. All the distillers get together, and we do this together, and we actually love it. And so this is an opportunity for me to I don't know, so not so much payback maybe, is just to be able to represent the entire industry and just not one distillery.